of the speech today was very downbeat, and when you go through the speech and listen to Minister Mabweni, he actually ended it with a prayer. Eskom requires a huge bailout. The Finance Minister announced that Eskom will receive 23 billion each year for the next 3 years. And that will obviously be financed from a slight cut in expenditure, but also from an increase in bond supply. So from financial markets perspective, our key focus point has obviously been implications for the bond supply going forward, and then Moody's rating announcement. So we have seen that, the expenditure ceiling is going to be lifted, and that is basically government has a ceiling which they've adhered to for about 6 years. And next year is going to be the first year that it will be breached. And that is basically because they're going to provide a cash injection to Eskom. The consequence, of course, is that all of it cannot be financed by a cut in expenditure. So there will be a tax increase. For example, we will see an increase in bracket creep that will generate more income, but also an increase in bond supply. So because of that, we have now seen an increase in the debt to GDP trajectory to more than 60% over the next 4 years. The adverse consequence of that is that government spends more to service its debt. So in other words, it crowds out more spending and social spending. One of the big expenditure areas have been compensation. So in this very difficult climate, it means they have to start taking these decisions to restore fiscal discipline. With regards to the rating outlook, we do think that the risk of a change in the outlook to negative has probably increased, but it will be very much contingent on what we're seeing in March. So that would be with respect to NERSAF's tariff increase announced for Eskom, as well as the CEO of Eskom's Pakamani turnaround strategy. The initial reaction of the bond market and the rand to the budget was negative. But the rand and the bond yields settled back very quickly. And the main reasons we thank for that is basically the outlook for inflation that has improved. The inflation in January declined to 4% from 4.4%, which means that there will not be any pressure on the Reserve Bank to increase interest rates in the event of the rand perhaps depreciating. So I think we are literally at the crossroads. The economy is very weak. Revenues are again undershooting, so we will see small tax increases. The Minister of Finance, National Treasury had various competing challenges. So the key question that we are now faced with is, will this budget stave off a credit rating downgrade by Moody's? There must be progress made with regards to restructuring as well as cost savings. So that will be critical.